Hey guys, I'm Leo. It's getting so hot. For today's video, I'd like to show you how to make miso. Miso, which is a common ingredient in Japanese dishes, is fermented food made mainly of soybeans. Fermented foods generally boost your immune system. In addition, miso is a great source of protein. Miso has been eaten in Japan for over 1,000 years. There is an old Japanese proverb which says, "It is better to eat miso rather than pay for medicine." In Japanese, that is, 医者に金を払える味噌屋に払え. In the previous video, I showed you how to make miso soup. Have you ever tried yet? Miso has many beneficial effects on your body, so please try making your miso at your own home. After watching this video, you can make delicious miso anytime. I will show you some important points to make tasty miso in the video, so please watch it to the end. Okay, let's get started. First, prepare the soybeans, koji and salt. Koji is fermented rice. 1 pound of soybean, 2 pounds of koji, and half pound of salt. Preparing soybeans and salt may be easy, but it might be difficult to find koji, especially for people who live outside Japan. I live in the United States and I got koji from one of my friends. But you can buy koji at the Japanese supermarket or Asian market. Next, wash the soybeans thoroughly. Wash several times, draining the water each time. Then, soak the soybeans overnight in 4 times the amount of water to soybeans at room temperature. The soybeans need to absorb water well, so please don't rush this step. These are the soybeans that have absorbed water overnight. As you can see, they are much larger now. I will now boil the soybeans. First, drain the water which the soybeans were soaked in, and add about 1.5 times as much filtered water to soybeans. Put on high heat. You can simmer it in a regular pot, but it takes about 4 hours. So if you have a pressure cooker, I highly recommend using that. In this video, I will be using the pressure cooker. After a while, a lot of white bubbles will appear as the water temperature rises. Carefully remove the bubbles with a ladle. If you do not remove this, the miso may have an odd taste. When the white foam doesn't appear anymore, close the lid of the pressure cooker and boil for 30 minutes under low heat with pressure applied. Then turn off the heat and let it stand for another 30 minutes as the pressure drops. While the soybeans are boiling, mix the koji and salt evenly. The mixed koji with salt is called shiokiri koji in Japanese. If there are clumps of koji, break it with your fingers while mixing. These are the boiled soybeans. It is the right softness if you can crush them with your fingers. By the way, the water boiled with the soybeans will be used when mixing soybeans and koji, so please keep about 1 cup of the water. Also, this water is very sweet and full of soybean nutrients, so I recommend you to use it for other dishes such as soup. Now, let's crush these soybeans. I will use a grinding machine this time, but if you do not have one, you can crush the soybeans by hand. In Japan, the method of using a plastic bag and crushing it by hand or stepping on it with your feet is also practiced. Please crush it until the shape of the soybeans are gone. Once you crush the soybeans, mix them with the shiokiri koji. Mix well until even. By the way, when making miso, it is important to keep as little bacteria as possible into the mixed soybeans. Bacteria can cause mold to grow, so wash the tools you use for making miso thoroughly before using. After it's mixed well, make them into small balls. We want to make sure there are no pockets of air inside of the bowl where mold can grow easily. So press firmly to make sure you remove any air inside. Let's add the small balls into a glass jar. Pottery and enamel containers are fine, but I personally don't want to use plastic containers. There is some very important work to do before adding the balls of soybeans. Clean the jar thoroughly and then disinfect it with boiling water. Then wipe it with an alcohol content of 40% or more. As I said earlier, doing so will reduce the chance of unwanted mold growing. Now let's fill it with the miso balls. Insert them by pressing them against the side or bottom of the jar with a fist. Try to keep air out of the gap between the soybeans and the jar as much as possible. I was able to pack everything like this. Wipe off the miso on the inside of the jar and wipe it again with alcohol. This will prevent mold from forming. Sprinkle a little extra salt on the surface of the miso and cover it with plastic wrapping. Finally, close the lid and store it in a cool and shady place. I always put a thank you note on the jar of miso to express my gratitude to the soybeans and Koji for doing great work along with the date of creation. You can eat it 10 months after making it. It doesn't necessarily have to be fermented for a long time, but it is interesting because the fermentation progresses and the taste changes as time goes by for 1 or 2 years. Please try it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, see you again soon. Bye!